Secret Invasion is here. Nick Fury is back. He's left Saber. He's earthbound on an adventure because there are terrorists in the form of Skrulls that have infiltrated our world. They're currently in Russia, which is where Fury goes to track them down. There are good Skrulls and there are bad Skrulls. This is made clear in the first episode. And there are people who would rather see Nick Fury sit this one out. Emilia Clarke plays a woman of mystery, is all I'll say. We're not going to get into too many spoilers with this, but I want to know, Alan, your initial thoughts. This is why the stream was late today. I was just finishing up the second episode, and I will get to it. I had to type in some of the lines from this show because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I'll just say this too. The track record of the Marvel Disney Plus shows has been awful. I think there have been some highlights or episodes. I don't think there's a single Disney Plus Marvel series where you could say, that was awesome. That was great. Not a single one. WandaVision, I felt started off pretty interesting. It was very different than things we've seen in the past. And then it did not stick the landing. Loki was all over the map. I'll just say this, like, other than like Loki and like WandaVision, I haven't finished an entire Disney Plus Marvel show. I consider those shows, it's sort of like this, like when it comes to Star Wars and when it comes to Marvel, I care about what happens in the movies. Those things to me are canon. Anything else sort of around it is noise. And all the Disney Plus series, to me, Marvel shows, they seem like the things that happen in between the movies that are inconsequential events that don't matter. You don't need to know what happens in these TV shows because none of the consequences of the events in these shows make any difference whatsoever at all. And there's even like, in the comic book world, they'll do like a prequel comic sort of leading you up to a movie, and nothing in those comics ever makes any sense. And I have a bunch of those comics, by the way. But this wants to be a very intelligent, smart, taut, gritty thriller in the vein of some, Bourne Identity or Bourne, Bourne, one of the Bourne films, right? There's the Bourne movies they all have those different names. It's the Bourne whatever. It kind of aspires to be that. It's so cheaply made. To me, it looked very cheap. They've got really good actors like Olivia Colman, Don Cheadle. I mean, they've got really good actors in this. There is one spoiler I am going to give up, but I'm sure nobody cares. Here's the problem with this show. The worst dialogue, and this is saying something, the worst dialogue written for a Disney Plus show ever. Horrible. To the point where I had to write some of these lines down, and I'm going to read some to you. Before I get to that, Alan, I want to get your overall impressions. I freaking hated it. I don't know that I care to watch it. And pay attention. No one will be talking about this show. It's not going to trend. You're not going to see people do videos about it. We're talking about it today because Alan and I had the opportunity to see the first two episodes early. I don't expect anyone is going to get caught up in Secret Invasion. It's a colossal disappointment. Another thing that I found very odd.
Oh, you're going to ask me about what I thought?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm sorry. Well, you did the first two reviews. I feel like I need to make up for that. Okay, Alan, what are your thoughts on Secret Invasion?
Oh my God, it's so boring. You know what? Okay, look, we'll talk about Flash. I like Flash, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I didn't read Flash. I don't know anything about Flashpoint or Infinite Earth and all that junk. So I just kind of went in. This one, I am very familiar with Secret Invasion. I liked the Marvel Comics Secret Invasion. This is just basically taking the title and the idea and watering it down, because the Skrulls basically they're taking over people. They're infiltrating governments, and no one knows about it. It's almost as if, let's just throw out Marxists. They came in and they infiltrated governments and started taking down all these governments. That would never happen, but that's kind of this idea. And I think the problem here is I don't care. The fact that these people, the infiltrators are Skrulls. So what? Okay, they can shapeshift, they can become other people. But that's, it's just a watered down story. We hung out with Robert Meyer Burnett at WonderCon, and he told us basically that he had read all the scripts to Secret Invasion and said that it's very good. And my thought was, well, you read the scripts, but what's going to be the final result? And
correction. Okay, just quick. He said he read the original scripts. They were heavily rewritten. The original scripts were heavily rewritten for Secret Invasion.
But he said that he liked the original script.
Right. I'm getting a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. But I'm listening to everything. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. So he liked the original script. That it is watered down. The action, the dialogue, the narrative, it is just watered down. There's no excitement to it. Any action scenes you get is your standard, typical action scenes of people, across the room shooting at each other. There's nothing really, there's nothing really big about this. And the first two episodes is about where's Nick Fury been, why is he so sad, why is and it's just this show. I don't know. It's like someone giving you, swine. It's pearls before swines. You're given this great material, and you just water it down. You just make it boring, and So that's my feeling here. So I haven't pre-read this, but Catherine Jin says there will be exactly one character from Secret Invasion worth watching. Whichever Shooter McGavin. That replica knockoff that Chris McDonald is we're going to play. Okay. He's in it. He's okay. I believe he's the president.
What are you going to the chat without me? All right.
Yeah, just one comment.
We're not done talking about this.
Look, Secret Invasion was about Skrulls taking over as the Marvel superheroes. I can't off the top of my head tell you exactly which ones. I think Sue Storm was one of those. But this one is just people, and it's like, who cares? Okay.
Well, Don Cheadle is in it,
Yeah.
War Machine. It's this. Okay. Here's the thing where they lost me. Here's where they lost me. We've seen. Wait, what shirt are you wearing right now, Alan? Is that your daughter's shirt?
No, it's the.
That is your daughter made that shirt.
Hi, Dad. I miss you.
But so here's the thing. I obviously I've seen all the Marvel movies. I can't remember a moment in any of the Marvel films where they made it about race. Can you think of a moment, Alan, in any of the Marvel movies? Just the movies, okay?
Yeah.
Not the Captain America Winter Soldier thing.
The movies, yeah.
Okay, only the movies. Was there a moment that even acknowledged race as a thing or as a problem?
Black Panther, but that was kind of the thing.
But Black Panther, that's different. I think that's okay. There are so many moments in just the first two episodes where they make it about race. I can't remember at any point where Nick Fury brought up race as an. I typed these into my phone because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. There's a moment with Maria Hill. They're in a bar. Nick Fury and Maria Hill are in a bar. Is it Maria Hill? Is that the name of her character?
Yes, Maria Hill.
Okay. So played by Kobe Smulders. Okay. So they're in a bar in Russia and she notices that Nick Fury can speak Russian. Okay. They sit down and she says, and he says, how do we This is what Nick Fury says. How do you think we kept the Cold War from going hot? Spooks like me. Nick Fury refers to himself as a spook. Spooks like me. And then she says, you can't say that. And then he responds, no, you can't say that. Nick Fury refers to himself as a spook. What the fuck is this doing in a fucking Marvel TV show? It's a piece of shit. I'm so disgusted. Okay, this isn't the only line. There are more. Okay, did you notice this, Alan? There are more. But I couldn't believe it. Why would Nick Fury refer to himself as a spook? Why? Why did that happen? Why is this in this show?
I mean, people are bringing this up.
We'll go to the chat in a minute.
Yeah, like this is what I always thought the word spook meant. A spy. It's just weird that it becomes
why does she respond? Why does he respond to her and say you can't say that?
Yeah.
She says,
look, we could quibble. Wait, let me the word spook, but keep going because it gets worse.
He says you can't say that. No, you can't say that. Meaning referring to you can't call me that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We're going.
But it gets worse. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Is it racial? Maybe, maybe not. But
okay. That
one
gets
worse. It gets worse.
Quibble all you want. It gets worse. Second episode. They're on a train, right? He's on the train with what's the character's name? Who's the Skrull, but he's from Captain Marvel.
Telos.
Yeah, Telos. So they're on they're on a train, and it's like this elegant, upscale train. And Fury says, on train rides from Alabama to Detroit, we had to go in the colored car. We had to bring fried chicken and deviled eggs. And he just goes on and tells a story about his mom. They had to be in the colored car back then.
Yeah. But you think that's bad?
No. It gets worse. Then there's a scene with Don Cheadle's character and Nick Fury. They have this whole meeting. And Fury says, men like us don't get promoted to power based on who our daddies know. And then Don Cheadle goes on, the reason we wrested power from mediocre men who don't look like us was not to hand it to mediocre men who do. And then they talk about their bond with ancestral history. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird because none of this was ever in a Marvel show ever. And so here is, War Machine, Don Cheadle, and it's just weird. They're just talking about mediocre. I mean, like, why is this in this show? What is the point of this? It just made me hate the show. That like you're this bullshit lecturing that has to be in everything. Whatever Robert Meyer Burnett, whatever scripts he read are definitely not what they ended up making because they handed it to some idiot to do it a punch up for social justice. Fuck this show. I don't know that we'll continue covering it beyond episode 1 and 2. I don't even know that any other YouTubers are going to care. I mean, this is like, if you thought writing in some of these other Disney Plus shows was bad, this is beyond bad. It's beyond bad to the point of offensive bad, to the point of who the fuck is writing these shows? I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, Alan. I'm just like sitting here going like, first of all, who doesn't love Samuel L. Jackson as an actor? Who doesn't love the character of Nick Fury? And by the way, why does he not have his eye patch on? He's got this sort of cloudy eye, and then they more prominently made those scratches on his face.
Suddenly those scars grew really big.
By the way, really I have a theory as to why he's not wearing the eye patch. Because Sam Jackson's like, I'll do the show, but I'm not wearing the fucking eye patch. I'm going to guess he just said, you know what? I mean, think of it. You're an actor. You got to go into makeup every day, whatever. It's just like, I'm not wearing the eye patch, right? Like, that's just.
Karen Gillan didn't want to have her hair shaved again.
So she looks weird. It's like once these actors, they're on a timeline of like they're playing a character for a really long time, they kind of get sick of it and they can finally, if you want me, I'm going to make demands.
Well, I mean, like I said, you know, to have your hair shaved, head shaved to do a movie, or to be to get into the green paint room every day, you know, people want to not have to do all that stuff.
Precisely. I agree. But it just feels off. It feels weird.
Yeah. It's
so,
see, the metaphor here is, if you want to bring racism into the story, the metaphor is the humans versus the Skrulls. But now you're bringing in all this other baggage that just seems like they're just calling it out. And you know, it will surprise me that this conversation that War Machine and Nick Fury had, it will surprise me if somehow it is brought into the rest of the story, that this is a ongoing theme as opposed to just kind of complaining along the way, which again goes to bad lazy writing.
Well, it's to me, their conversation between War Machine and Fury is about, you should help me because I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're having a conversation about. I'm black, you're black, help me. Let's get rid of these mediocre people who got here because of their daddies or this or whatever. It's really fucking clear what they're talking about. And it sucks that this is a show about this. It's a thread. It's a thread through the show, and I fucking hate it.
At least through the first few episodes, but yeah, you know,
we've only seen the first, it's only the first 2 episodes. It could get even worse.
Yeah,
because my feeling is this is okay. Every Disney Plus show has kind of started out pretty good, where I'm kind of interested, right? Especially WandaVision, some of these other shows, like they started off like, oh, the first episode's pretty good, and then it devolves into like, why am I watching this show? And if these are their first 2 episodes, I don't think that we're going to be talking about Secret Invasion a couple weeks from now. Hey, heel versus babyface. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Let me know if you'd like to appear in court. You know, I mean, there's either people that like, I don't want to be on critics' court. Like, please, it's too much work. And other people that are like, why haven't you asked me? I don't know. It's, but thank you for, can't believe you're watching my show here. Me and Alan. It's bizarre. Yeah. But yeah, well, Az is going to have a field day with this when it comes out. It's those are just the lines from the first 2 episodes, but it really stood out as, why is this? It doesn't tie into theme, right? It's and just a lot of the characters' motivations are not really made explicit. Okay, it's the first 2 episodes.
Look, I'll say this, as I think if you, I feel like you know Secret Invasion and you like Secret Invasion, you will blow a gasket when you see the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. I don't know. Are they going to run the first 2 episodes on the first day? Sometimes they do that.
Sometimes I think they're waiting for us critics to say what we think, and then they'll decide. But all
right. Well, that's
I bet they do the first 2 episodes.
Well, I'll say this. To sum up before we go to comments. I cannot recommend this show. Mm-hmm. Not only that, it pisses me off. You know, Marvel used to be about, you know, becoming a hero, what it means to be a hero, rising up beyond your circumstances, having a journey that involved a character, you know, like a character's journey, like a Tony Stark who goes from a selfish billionaire genius to a person who you know, at the very end, you know, has a selfless act where he saves the galaxy effectively, or half the life in the galaxy. It's every character has an amazing journey. I don't know what the hell we're supposed to take away. I'm so annoyed at this show. I'm not sure I can take it beyond the first 2 episodes.
So let's how about odds on that the phrase "Skrull Lives Matter" appears in the show?
Skrull Lives Matter. SLM. Is that? Oh my God. It probably something like that. Oh my God. It will do something like that, because this was written, I'm sure, a couple years ago. Oh my God. Oh.
And then I hope it bleeds through into Armor Wars. I'd like to see how race is injected into that show.
All right, Alan. First of all, obviously I can't recommend Secret Invasion, and I am angry at myself for taking the time to watch it. So, Alan, what are your thoughts? Recommend, rating? I mean, it's just the first 2 episodes. What if it gets better?
How can it? I mean, again, the foundation for this series is so weak that it can't get better. And it's already been shot, so it's not like they can take notes and improve things. The heart of Secret Invasion is gutted by not taking the place of superheroes. So why?
I mean, that's the thing is like, so then you've got all these like earthbound human characters.
Yeah.
I do expect, because there is a threat where War Machine basically says, should we just bring in the Avengers? And Fury is like, it's like they're making up an excuse for why the show is so low budget. Fury says, no, we don't want to bring in any superheroes, because what if the Skrulls mimic superheroes? So let's not have don't bring in the Avengers, don't bring in any heroes, because we don't. And I'm thinking, like, literally in a line of dialogue, you justified why the budget of this show is so freaking anemic.
Yeah. Okay. There's one way the show will get better, and it's this. What name do they constantly invoke in episodes 1 and 2? Carol Danvers.
Yeah, Carol Danvers. That's right.
She must be mentioned at least 12 times in the series.
Yeah, she's the only one they mention, and they do some flashbacks to the early 90s, like 95, 97, basically with the integration of the Skrulls. Fury puts together a task force of Skrulls who are going to help him on Earth, and they all volunteer, but they feel betrayed. So this is sort of where things start.
Fury blipped, and they didn't know where he went.
Not his fault.
Yeah,
it just, oh my God.
They're upset because Fury blipped.
I can't. All right, let's go to your comments and questions. But yeah, I can't recommend it.
Yeah,
I can't recommend it. You could, and it just, you know what? Watch for yourself. Watch for yourself. If you already have Disney Plus, whatever, watch for yourself.
It is absolutely boring. Take the racial stuff out. It's not a good thriller. This movie, this show should be on par with what Civil War was, and it doesn't even come close to that.
It tries to be like a Bourne movie. In the sort of like, it's gritty, whatever, but it's like that TV light. Here's the thing. You said it to me. I think I texted you. We were talking and you were just saying Disney can't do TV.
They can't.
That was your like overall, because you saw it before I did. And you said Disney can't do TV.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Look, to me, the first mark of a good television show is the end of each episode should lead to a cliffhanger. Do you remember the cliffhanger of episode 2? It was a reveal. Right.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, it's like this is what's going to get people to come back. This idea, and if I don't know if you want to spoil it, but it's like it is not a. It's meant to be a cliffhanger, and is the furthest thing from a cliffhanger.
They just don't know how to do TV.